Steve, thank you very much. And the lawmaker who offered that bill passed by the House on Friday, Congressman Fred Upton, says he's hoping the president will work with Congress rather than around it. 39 Democrats supported that bill, by the way, and the White House says the president will veto it if it gets to his desk. Of course, there's no guarantee that Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid's ever going to let it get to the floor in the Senate. Let's talk about it with Congressman Upton, who joins us now live. Thanks for coming in today.
Hey, thanks, Shannon.
Good to see you. All right, I want to start by reading some reaction from the Minority Leader, Nancy Pelosi, saying today that it was a political maneuver. She calls it dangerous. She says it's made the situation worse and certainly is not a fix. Your response?
A number of different things. First of all, you can't go anywhere. Church today, grocery store, veterans events, all the things that we did. There wasn't a time when someone didn't come up to any of us, Republican or Democrat, and say, do you all know what's going on out there? We're getting these cancellation notices. We had almost 100 members earlier on the House floor share with C-SPAN the specific stories. It's not working. And until we introduced this bill, I introduced the bill less than 2 weeks ago, had 150 co-sponsors. It was figured out that we were probably going to get about 300 votes for it, and that then caused the president to act. They weren't going to do anything. They were going to let all these folks, in essence, get run over by the bus. All these policies were going to get canceled. And, of course, the promise that you could keep your health care just wasn't accurate. Even the former President Clinton said that the President Obama ought to honor his commitment and make this whole.
Do you think that's been part of it? A lot of the heat on President Obama has come from within his own party. In fact, as we noted, 39 Democrats voted for your bill.
Well, this has never been ready for prime time. Remember, that first started with the website, and of course, we had a lot of hearings over the summer. The administration said, we're ready. But as it turns out, they didn't do the end-to-end testing. We don't know about the security of the information that people have put into the system. The providers, whether it be hospitals or physicians, they don't know how they're going to necessarily get paid when this thing really kicks in come January. Plans, not only the individual plans are being canceled, but a lot of small business plans are being canceled too. We're just seeing one wave after another just prove that this thing is not ready, and people are worried.
All right, so the White House says essentially the president would veto this if it ever got to him, because it not only allows people to keep their plans that were canceled, but it would allow new people to enroll in these plans they consider substandard. They don't have all the bells and whistles. So we know if it gets there, if Harry Reid allows it to a vote on the Senate floor and gets to the president, it's a no-go on that reason. Let me ask you this. There are those who are asking questions about what this would do, maybe delay for a year or two, some of the real tough teeth of the law and the real part of complying with it, and why Republicans would want to do that past the 2014 midterm elections.
Well, a couple things. This is real life experience for folks. They've got their own health care needs. They're seeing these premiums jump maybe as much as 200%, 300%, 400%. They're seeing their deductibles increase in the thousands of dollars. We really didn't want to be political on this whole thing. We wanted to provide relief for people who are screaming for help, and knowing that, in fact, hey, in 5-6 weeks, this thing now starts. And so we thought that the earliest that we could actually show we had a bill, and again, before the president acted, most pundits were saying we're going to have as many as 300 votes for this. That's pretty bipartisan. As it turned out, we won by more than 100 votes in a pretty closely divided House. And, you know, great credit to Speaker Boehner and Majority Leader Cantor, who literally in 5 or 6 legislative days from the day that it was introduced, brought it to the House floor, put pressure on the Senate, put pressure on the administration to try and do something. Let's send the signal now that if we can restore some of those policies, working with the state commissioners, insurance commissioners across the country, maybe some of those folks who were denied, that got that cancellation notice, will say, hey, we can keep our plan. Wasn't that the promise?
Does it delay the inevitable, though? Just sort of kicks it down the road a little bit further, and then we find ourselves in the same situation a year or two from now?
You know, there are so many problems with this, and that's what happens when you shove something down the throat of, in essence, any type of bipartisanship in the House. Remember, it passed by 1 vote in the Senate, a handful of votes in the House, not a single Republican vote out there. Would any Republican change their vote today? I don't think so. Would a lot of Democrats? You know, I don't think maybe they would have sold. I don't think it would have passed had they really not thought or said that you could keep your health care plan.
We'll watch to see what happens with your bill, if it has any life in the Senate. We know there's a counterpart there, similar, being offered by Democratic Senator Mary Landrieu. And also, we know this week as well, on Tuesday, you've got a hearing that will look at the security concerns, which is a whole different segment on healthcare.gov. We'll be tuned in on Tuesday.
Thanks.